Okay, welcome to another Boyd's blog. We're going to build something here really seriously. Got a time frame situation now because we've got people coming over from tea. So, this is the deal. This is your standard barbecue that you get from Bunnings or someplace like that, just got the cover on it there. Found this old set of drawers that I had in my shed doing nothing but holding bits of reticulation and stuff like that, which work perfectly fine. You can probably pick them up from a garage sale or something like that. Simple. We're going to put that at one end, and we're going to put the bar fridge here with my amp and music set up on the other end, and put a separate shelf. You can buy this stuff, it's cheap as chips. It's just laminated plywood. There's a couple of shelves in here. Doesn't need to be overly protective of the weather because of course we're under the roof here, so don't worry about that. You might have a similar situation at home, so we're going to smash this out, and we've got about 3 hours, so here we go. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is get our levels and heights and squares sorted out. So if you come over here, you can see I've put this bit of timber up against the wall and put a square up against it and mark the line. And as you square, you'll probably need a 600mm square just to square it up off the wall. And this paving that we're going to be doing is all over the place. It's up and down like a toilet seat, so we're going to need to level all this up. But the first thing I thought I'd do is get my saw out, square this up so we know we've got a nice square cut, mark my line, here we go, I'm going to cut this off now. Okay, might have been a bit misleading in the last shot because we had that cabinet there at this end. In actual fact, because our power point is at this end and our wiring for our speakers etc. are up here, we're going to swap things around a bit, so we're going to have the cabinet at that end and the fridge here. Now, problem of course, as I said earlier, the first thing we need to do is check our squares and our levels, and as this floor is quite a bit out, paving typically runs on a gradient of 10% away from a building to allow any moisture etc. to run out and away from the building rather than back in towards it. So we need to address that. Got my spirit level out here now, stick that on there. That's around about 600. I've made a mark on the floor here because that's going to tell us how wide. That's 600, so roughly that's where the top's going to be. And so I've put that roughly there, and I can see here that that's going to be about 20mm. So it's about, yeah, it's probably close to 10mm there. The fridge might actually have some adjustments underneath it. Don't know, I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. But when I go to do this bit over here, we're going to put some bits of Jarrah that I've used before on a previous Boyd's blog. I've still got some of that left, to maybe reassess this level and then screw and fix those to that, so at least this is sitting level with that over there. So we're going to mess about with that now. Okay, as you can see I was right, there is an adjustment here, and we've been able to screw this down to make it level across from front to back. But unfortunately this side for whatever reason wasn't adjustable, so we're just going to pack that up with a bit of wood or something and do a reasonable job of that. So Robert's off to go and find a bit of wood to prop that up, but at least we're level now and we can now work on getting our bench top put on. Okay, so we've found a little chop to stick under the fridge at this end, so that's good. So that now, as you can see with the level here, is spot on. Alright. Now we're going to try and get the other end right, and as you can see this just happens to be a different height than our fridge. So we'll deal with that later. What we are going to do now is do what we did with the fridge with the cabinet. So we're determined by the length of our bench, which is this here, obviously. So we're going off the edge of the reveal of the brickwork, and we're going all the way along to where we are here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, right, this is going to be set with the reveal there. That's good. Now I'm going to make 2 marks down here on the paving with my spirit level off the edge here, so when I go to set this in place I know exactly the spot in which I want it to sit to get right. So we're going to go there. I could measure this, but I much prefer doing it this way. I think it's more accurate. There's a mark there, and I'll do it at the back. So we just simply level down. That's good. You can see it's a bricklayer's level because you can hardly read it. Is that grubby? And there you go. So now we'll remove all this and set this up like we said we would with those 2 bits of batten. Okay, like we said, we're going to get this level up level from front to back like we did with the fridge. So what we're going to do is going to cut 2 bits of jarrah, that jarrah that I mentioned earlier, one across here and one on the other side, and then what we'll do is set our level with this and then screw and fix into the jarrah and through and into the piece of furniture. You'll see what I mean, this piece of cake. We're going to go out to the shed now. We've made a measurement of how long we need the 2 lengths, which is 410 mil. 410 mil, 2 lengths of 410 mil jarrah. We'll go out to the shed now and cut that. So there you go, we've cut our first one. So we're going to use this to mark the second. And we'll set the second cut here. Job done. Perfect, look at that. We'll go out there and drill these in and get them all leather. We're going to need some clamps, we're going to need some fixings, that's all outside, so let's go and make it happen. Okay, here comes the tricky bit. You'll see we've cut the 2 bits of jarrah in the shed, brought those out. Now they're going to act as a sort of false floor for this bit of furniture. You'll see here when I put the spirit level on, we have the same problem as we had with the fridge. It's all over the place like a mad woman's poop. Okay, so this is running downhill that way, and it's also running downhill that way, which is really quite awkward. So you've got to start from your highest point, which is obviously this bit here because it's running down that way. So this point here is our highest point. We can't go down from that. Quite frankly, if you're a guru, a kitchen fitter or something like that, when there's slight alterations to that, cabinet makers will typically get out a plane and just plane the bench down. This is just a bit of outdoor fun, so this is an easier way to do it for this type of job. So it's really just a bit of trial and error. You're going to need some clamps, some big clamps to clamp around. You'll see what I mean as we do this. Robert's going to film this as I do it. I'm not going to commentate. You'll get the gist of what I'm going to do, relying on my level there. So here we go. Okay, well, with the use of a spirit level, some clamps and a couple of pencils, and our 2 bits of wood, what we've done is, with my cameraman Robert's help, we've been able to position this using these bits of wood to lay just down on the uneven brick paving, in line with the marks which I put down with the level earlier, so we know this is in exactly the right place. And then what we've done is clamped these bits of wood in and then adjusted this using the level till it's right, marked it with these pencils and then clamped it off. We didn't clamp it too tight, for the reason is you may have some discrepancies when you do that. So what you do is you just get yourself a little hammer and then readjust. And if you need to go down, if you're going to make an error down here, make it so it's an error in height. That way you can always just give it a little bit of a tap down here, there, to get it right. And then once it's absolutely perfect in both directions, that's not too bad. I'm not going to get too fussy with it. See what I mean? Now that is absolutely perfect, I'm just going to clamp those clamps off nice and tight. We'll get our drill and fixings out and fix that in so we know that that spot for that bit of furniture is going to sit perfectly level and plumb.